Hey everybody, how's it going? It's your good pal, your good friend Art, and I am just finishing up. I just finished up a bit of a pool session. Took a dip for a bit, little swim there. Sat poolside for a bit. Haven't been out here in a while. It's nice too because nobody's out here today. So, not that there's ever too many people that show up, and the people here are usually cool and stuff. But just by myself here. There was someone here earlier. There was another tenant who was in the pool for a bit, and she left some time ago. So just me, and I'm ready to head back. But hope everyone's doing well. I know it's hot up there, up in the north. Here it's our usual. Today it's actually not too bad. Well, I should say it's too bad because maybe I just got out of the pool, but it's 99. And it feels like 106, and I know that that's the weather y'all been getting up there up north lately, and that's the weather we have here all the time. So a lot of times I stay indoors, or if I go out, I go into another building, like someone's apartment or whatever, or wherever. So but yeah, I hope everyone's doing well and keeping safe and whatever, and not going too stir crazy. And if you're out there working, hope you're safe as possible and stuff. So, but I wanted to get on here real quick because the real big amusing story today is the Washington Redskins finally changed their name, temporarily at least. They've been called the Redskins since they were established as a team in the 30s. And it's been a very controversial subject, especially in the last, I guess I'd say 10, 15, maybe 20 years. I know it's been a hot topic, hot button topic for a long time. And then initiation of a name change was established some time ago. And so it looks like they changed their name, at least for now. And for the record, I am not a Redskins fan. I'm an Eagles fan, so they're our rivals, if you want to call them that, for lack of a better term, because they're a shit team. And, they're like the Charlie Brown that goes to kick the ball, and Lucy, the Eagles are the Lucy, taking away the ball, and then, they go up in the air and fall on their back and say good grief and all that shit. So you see some comments here. Hey, what's up, James? My dear BFF Guinevere, hello. My man Fran, Sharon Bronstein, thanks all for joining. Rob Martin, my friend. I'm a fan of football team. A friend of mine, my friend was like, so, because she just saw the logo that just said Washington, and at the bottom it says football team in very small letters, established 1932. So my friend Leanne was like, so what do they just call the Washington Washingtons? And I thought, that would be so awesome if they were called the Washington Washingtons. But that and the fact that they're called the Washington football team, it's so the epitome of that franchise, especially, with shit-stained Dan Snyder owning the team. He's really just been running a fuck show of a team over there. I mean, he's almost like how Vince McMahon is now in 2020 and maybe the last few years, that's how Dan Snyder is, as running a football team. He's almost like the Vince McMahon, he's like the current older Vince McMahon of the NFL. Just, thinking he knows what he's doing and not listening to anybody and just making all these wacky decisions that don't benefit the team and just his ego and stuff. So, but yeah, it's hilarious. It's when I saw that, it's like we are going to be calling ourselves the Washington football team. This is a $1 billion franchise. They've known for years. I mean, this shows the arrogance of the team, especially, well, not I should say the team, Dan Snyder in particular, the owner. I mean, you've known about this for years. You've known that there's, a backlash. I mean, you're not giving in. You're not giving in to Native American groups or other people, but you give in to the dollar, of course. When money walks, the sucker, when money talks, the sucker walks, So, of course, when Nike and Under Armour, whomever, and especially FedEx Field, when they started, saying that they were going to take their dollars elsewhere, then they're gonna change their team. But you figured they would have had some kind of backup. But I guess if you figure you're just never gonna change your team name because you're just not going to, because you're an arrogant fuck and you're just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I don't give a shit what anybody says. We're still selling merch. We're still selling tickets. We've been a team around since the 30s. But to not at least have some kind of foresight and maybe a small or some kind of considerably sized list of possible names, because you've had weeks now, since it's really been brought up, since Goodell brought it up, since FedEx said, hey, we're taking our name off that fucking toilet you call a stadium unless you change your fucking name. And then Nike's like, we're not selling your shit anymore. We want our logo off that thing unless you change it, and all these other companies, corporations that are involved with the team, and is like, we're not gonna participate in this shit anymore unless you change it. So now, after all these weeks and all this time of knowing that you're gonna probably have to most likely change your team name, you come up with the Washington football team. Who said it? Was it James? James, was it you or Tom Arone that was like, it sounds like, or maybe someone on one of your pages, group pages, that was like, what is this, a soccer team? It totally sounds like a football, like a soccer club or a football club in Europe, so it's just it's crazy. Hey cuz, how you doing? Yes, Vince is senile. Yeah. Oh god, he's definitely run that team into the ground for sure, man. I mean, anybody's watching who's familiar with the team's antics. Do we all remember Albert Hainsworth? I mean, that, that was almost pretty much the epitome of of all that going on. So I just wanted to hop on real quick and just laugh about that and just be like, dude, bro, I'm assuming, I think I read that they're going to change their name next year. They'll have, or by next season, by 2021 season, they'll have an actual, legit name. They're only just going to be call themselves the Washington football team, because they need to establish something for the season that's going to be coming up soon. And, that's all they can come up with for now. So again, the epitome of that franchise, and the owner, Dan Snyder, who really just, I feel, if you're a Skins fan, you know what the best was? It was a quick story. I remember when Michael Vick was signed to the Eagles, and then soon after McNabb was released. I guess it was following whatever that lasted. Was it 2009? I guess, or whatever. Was that his last season in Philly? So McNabb got released, and he got signed by the Redskins. And I'll never forget these fucking dopes in Philly walking around with Redskin McNabb jerseys. And I'm like, you're wearing a fucking Redskins jersey in this area? Of all places? I mean, and they're going to sit there and say, well, I want to support McNabb and this and that, or I'm against the Vic signing. Well, you could show it other ways, but walking around the city in a fucking Donovan McNabb number 5 Washington Skins jersey, those guys look like fucking jokes. They were I was just roll my eyes, dude, well, whatever, just put on a fucking Yankees jersey while you're at it, so but speaking of which, opening day, woo, yes, today, Thursday, is opening day, I think, but the Phillies, I think, start tomorrow. They start a series, I think against Miami, I think. Then they play the Yankees afterwards, speaking of which. So really psyched about that, really happy to have baseball back in some capacity. I've been watching some of the interleague play games and stuff, and T-Mobile renewed my free MLB TV account again, so I'm really psyched about that. And so I'm going to be watching some baseball coming up, and then NHL's coming up, and NBA's coming up, and NFL's coming up, and even without a crowd or cutouts, whatever, dude, the cardboard cutout crowd thing is great. So what do I pay, and then they'll print a life-size cutout of me and place it in the seat? I wonder how much that costs. I'm sure that costs something. They're definitely trying to find some way to make revenue, but I think that's just wow, that's really, really interesting. I guess they're going to do that for season ticket holders, and maybe and I guess if you want to individually do that, you can. I mean, look, there's me. Yeah, you're watching. I'm watching myself. Feel like an acid trip, dude. I'm watching myself, but I'm flat, and what's going on? You know, so yeah, it's really, really interesting times we live in, and all sorts of ways that these entertainment conglomerates are finding ways to still include us, the fan experience, into the game and such and whatever. So but on that note, I'm going to head out, and thank you for all checking in. Zinser, thanks cuz for checking in, and everyone, Logan and Rob and James and my dear Guinevere and Fran, my man, and Sharon, thank you all for checking in. And one more thing before I go. The cops who murdered Breonna Taylor should be sent to the fucking Korean prison work camps.